Hi, it's Glenn Stencil again, part of a continuing video presentation on stopping movie piracy. For this particular presentation, we'd like to do a little focus on movie labs and, to some extent, some of the technical people at various related companies to the movie studios. First of all, I guess specifically on movie labs, just come out and say it. They are incapable of getting a solution to movie piracy. The only way they'll get a solution is if they and they alone get the solution. And unfortunately, they don't have the background, they don't have the experience, they probably have not been exposed in the right areas that would give them a solution. Okay? They're smart people, but they just don't have the exposure and the background that would be needed, the experience that would be needed. So they're out of context with what the solution really is. If they take the point it's just a technical thing and it's just about computers, they jump to a conclusion that they're the most logical person and smartest people in the whole world that could have a solution. But when it turns out the solution isn't just about computers, it's not just about the internet, there's so much more to it than that. It's not just a technical problem, although technology is a big part of the solution, it's also a people problem. It's both. You got to get them both straight, and you got to mix the two together the right way. So in any case, it's unlikely that movie labs will come up with it themselves. Now, as far as negotiating for a solution to movie piracy, movie labs is not equipped to do that either. The best they offer is the promise of a maybe. You must implicitly trust them 100% in their sole and unfettered decision to evaluate and decide what, if anything, they'll give you for it. And this just doesn't go well with anybody. That's not how business is done. Now, there may be another section we'll talk about negotiation and how it doesn't apply in this situation. Business takes forms in many different ways of negotiation and exchanging products, services, ideas, whether you say in the form of monetary or even respect of the fact of who gets credit. There's all kinds of business ways to do it. The way that Movie Labs is trying to do it is not appropriate given this situation. Certainly not from trying to get it from the outside. So from that point, they actually exclude outside intellectual investment into solving movie piracy. We can get into that a little more. And the other situation is Movie Labs can't be trusted with a solution. That's a big one to throw out there. Well, it goes two ways. First of all, if they don't value intellectual property, I mean, when the head guy there says, Glenn, you got to understand, ideas really aren't worth what you think they are unless you've got the resources to make it all work. It's, ideas of little value. How do you trust somebody when they don't even value intellectual property? Okay. The other situation is the way Movie Labs is set up. Anything they get, they are obliged to tell everyone, or most of the people, at all the studios without any regard for security. How can you trust them? That's their obligation. Sure, they're not legally obligated, but they're financially obligated. Again, they're set up as a separate non-profit research organization, but since they're basically 100% financed by this big six studios, it's their financial and moral, and if they want to keep financing, they must give information to anybody who asks for it from their particular technical people. And they're not equipped to kind of say, well, hold on, we haven't even got the trust of it. They can't question that trust. They just have to give it to everybody. And that's a problem. You have a problem already in the industry where movies are getting out into the internet and they're not even in the theater yet. And they're coming out from inside sources. They haven't even got a clamp on that. And yet they're saying, well, yeah, but all the technical people can be trusted. That's not true, okay? I don't think anyone's going to be gullible enough to believe you can just trust everybody. They're a technical person. They have a science degree. They can be trusted. That's just stupid, okay? So you got a variety of reasons why Movie Labs just isn't quite capable of doing that. It's partly a lot to do with egos. It's like their means of negotiation is, I'm smart, meaning, I at Movie Labs, I'm a smart person. I went to the right schools. I've got a science degree. I'm connected with all the right people, and you can trust me. And meanwhile, you're nobody I've never heard of before. You don't have the right education. And then it's almost comical the way they say this, but you can trust me. I mean, so the only way they're ever going to get a solution is if the person is smart enough to know how to stop movie piracy, but so freaking stupid they don't realize they'll not get, they probably, or very unlikely, definitely don't have any assurance of getting any credit, any monetary compensation for it, because they're just supposed to trust them. Something really seriously wrong with that. Anyway, that's a thought for the day. Thanks.